The Judicial Conduct Appeals Committee has called for the establishment of a tribunal to investigate allegations of racism made by the Western Cape Judge President John Hlophe against his deputy Patricia Goliath. Now, the tribunal will also investigate allegations made by Goliath against Hlophe. Those accusations are that of assault, abusive language and the abuse of power. Let's get more now, and we're joined by a researcher and advocacy officer at Judges Matter, that's Mbekezeli Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin, thank you very much for your time. Accusations, counter-accusations. When is this matter going to come to an end? Because it surely can't be good for the judiciary, at least in the Western Cape, but I suspect you will tell me that it's got broader implications for the judiciary in the country as a whole.
Yes, absolutely. It does have broader implications on the institution of the judiciary itself, and not just the individuals that are involved in this particular saga. As to how far we are in the process, it's still quite early days, in as much as the complaint was filed in about 2020, but we are almost at stage 4 in a 7-stage process. So we still have a long way to go before we get to the resolution of this complaint. And that for us is particularly worrying because, like you said, the implications that this latest saga has on the judiciary, on the Western Cape High Court in particular, when you have the leader and deputy leader of any organizations at each other's throats, you can imagine the kind of damage that it has on the morale, on the team spirit that should exist in an organization. The other thing is the judiciary is a small community, and it's a small community of relatively isolated people. Judges are often isolated a little bit from society for good reason. And so the relations that they have between them should really be ones of collegiality, of support, of camaraderie. And what we're seeing now with the Western Cape does concern us a lot as Judges Matter, and we call on the JSC to act swiftly to deal with this complaint as soon as possible.
A brief background, Mr. Benjamin, for the benefit of the viewers. I mean, this has been ongoing for some time. As you mentioned, we are at stage 4 of a stage 7 matter. I hope I got you correctly there. What was the initial complaint? Because that complaint would have been filed by the Deputy Judge President, Patricia Goliath, against the Judge President, John Hlophe. And then what does Hlophe say as a counter to that?
Please forgive me, Mr. Mgambi, for using the word stages. I know that is very traumatic to a lot of people right now. But how this started was in January of 2020, Judge Goliath filed a complaint with the Judicial Service Commission. And her complaint was that she accused Judge Hlophe of abusing his power as Judge President. So she accused him of having stripped her of certain of her legal responsibility as the Deputy Judge President of that court. She also accused him of assaulting a fellow judge at the Western Cape High Court. And the other allegation was that he had tried to allocate judges who were favorably disposed to a particular side in one of the cases, and that was involving the nuclear deal. So that was the source of the complaints, and in essence, she was alleging that he had committed an act of gross misconduct. And after she had filed her complaint, there was a counter complaint by Judge Hlophe. And in that counter complaint, Judge Hlophe accused Judge Goliath of using racist language to describe fellow judges at that court, and also an accusation that she had secretly recorded a meeting that happened between Judge Hlophe and Judge Goliath, and so that sort of broke the trust relationship between them. So there are accusations on other sides. Of course, this is a simplified version. There are other complications in this saga, but just for the benefit of the viewers, that is the simple explanation of what happened. And since then, it has been snaking its way through the process. There have been multiple committees at different stages inquiring into this, and then ultimately where we are now, that it must go to a full inquiry where there will be witnesses called and cross-examination of those witnesses.
Well, as we wrap it up then, both these senior judges could possibly face a misconduct probe. Where is that likely to take us?
Well, the accusations that are made on either side are very, very serious. They are some of the most extremely serious that you can imagine. A judge accused of racism, another accused of assaulting a fellow judge. Those are impeachable offenses. So there might be a possibility that the tribunal, if they found them guilty of gross misconduct, will recommend that they be impeached and removed from office. So that is where this is likely to go. But of course, like I said, there's still quite a long road that this complaint will travel. Mbekezeli
Benjamin, researcher and someone who looks at the conduct of judges in our country. He is with the organization Judges Matter.